Hey y'all, so today we are going to be talking about normalizing Black mediocrity, but of course in the context of being an author. So here's a quick disclaimer before I get into all this. This is no hate to Black excellence at all. Love that. Number two, I'm also talking about mediocre in a sense of a writing skill level. We all don't have to be N.K. Jemisin and Toni Morrison. And while I love them, I do love their work. Um, I need a lot of us to get a grip and give some other people a chance. I also think that an extraordinary imagination is always the root of creativity. And in order to be a good writer or even be a good creative, you have to have a big imagination. Like you have to be able to imagine and think big. Okay. So if you got that, you should be able to get a chance. Oh, also in this video, I am referring to the process itself, the writing process itself, and all of its technicalities and whatnot. So all that's just a little disclaimer before we get into this because I know some people be a little dense and y'all need disclaimers. And y'all gonna purposely misunderstand me because that's what y'all do. But that's besides the point. My people that are my people, they know their tea, so they already know what's going on. So, first thing I'm going to do is address the Black community. First thing I'm going to talk about in this particular part is the historical context. So, I've recently been reading a lot of nonfiction books. Well, pause. I've been listening to audiobooks, but yes, audiobooks do count as reading. Okay, period. But I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and one of those audiobooks are Ain't I a Woman by Bell Hooks. And it made me realize that a lot of things that Black women, Black men, or just Black people in general do is appeal to things within the context of whiteness, not necessarily within our own context as an individual or even in the Black community. Like a lot of the things we do were shaped by the oppression from white America. So there's a lot of things we do that try to meet white American standards, but guess what? We're not white Americans, so guess what we shouldn't be doing? Thank you, clock it. Um, so yeah, we have to address that and we have to understand that because I feel like that's a big reason why this needs to be a conversation. But anyway, moving on. Realistically, y'all, we've got to start somewhere. Okay? So that means mentorships, learning programs, anthologies that are dedicated to featuring newer young Black authors who have a passion and love for writing. This part is important, and this is the reason, this right here is the main reason why I'm making this video low key. But of course, there's other important aspects as well. You can't ask me to reach for the stars and not even give me a ladder to get on top of the building or to get on the rocket ship. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason why I use that metaphor, that's what a lot of y'all do. So I recently made like a rant video that I was gonna post to mutuals only, but I was like, whatever, I'm gonna make a YouTube video about this. I'm not gonna do all that. But I was saying how so recently, I see videos of people saying how, oh, young authors, like, they're always in a rush, and we're in a rush, and everybody's in a rush, and la 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 la. And everybody talking crap about the young authors. Let me tell you something, bro. Me personally, I'm young, right? But nobody was rushing, babe. Nobody was rushing. I was an English major who has an English degree now. That's one of my awards up there, and that's just one of them. I had a check reward sent to me from my department because I won an award in the fictional aspect of my department. So don't just sit here and tell me, oh, it's like, oh, you're rushing, you're rushing, you're rushing. Like I did, like I sat on my ass and didn't do anything for the past 4 years. No, I've been working, I've been learning, I've been studying, I've been doing workshops, and you don't get to discredit that because of my age. Sorry, like that's just not how that works. And yeah, while I also understand that I also have to be humble enough to learn, which I frankly I do think I am humble. I am, and it sounds like, oh, you're like you. It's cocky to say that you're humble, but no, I need to remind people that I am because it's like people be trying to humble people that's already constantly being humbled by the world, and instead of trying to like, pick them up, you try to overemphasize being humble because of their age. Stop doing that. Like I could see if I was legit being arrogant and I'll check myself on it, but I'm really not. I'm not. And a lot of us aren't. And I think we need to clock that T too on that. And I just think it's really fake and weird when authors are like complaining about young black authors, and it's like, are you a mentor? Do you host any classes to teach these young authors? Do you hold any programs? Do you have any programs to help educate young black authors? Like, what are you doing to help the young black authors other than sitting here getting them on the phone on your long behind talking about some what we doing and how we doing it? If you are sitting here and complain about what we doing, come help me. Like, what the hell? You see me sitting here drowning and whatnot, trying to, and you talk about some, oh, the young authors. Like, that's like you seeing me drowning, and you talk about, oh, look at this young author drowning. Blah, 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 blah. Hello, give me a life floaty so I can get up. But that's what y'all look like. Y'all look like we sitting here struggling, and y'all sitting there slapping us in the head, talking about how we young and stupid. How does that help? So you know what my argument is? Don't talk about what young authors are doing if you're not going to help them. Okay? If you're not going to be a mentor, if you're not going to be introduce like programs or whatever to help these young authors, then shut up. Cuz guess what? A young author, maybe they are just terrible at what they do. Maybe they aren't that good. Maybe they do have potential but don't have the skill set. But how are they supposed to get it if you're so busy sitting there complaining about them and not helping them get up? How are they supposed to get up off the floor with no ladder? Huh? Okay, right. That's my point. Anyways, and here's my next thing. This is how not allowing us to get a leg up at the beginning actually harms us as a community. If we can't uplift each other when we are giving all we got while learning to be better, eventually, then what makes you think that we have any chance at ever being excellent or extraordinary? Huh? How do you expect for black authors to ever be extraordinary or exhibit black excellence if you never meet them in their mediocrity? How? And see, this is why I got a problem with the fact that white authors are able to get on the internet and sell these mediocre books and make six figures, and everybody yaps about it, including people that get on the internet and complain about it and don't advocate for black authors in the mix or even other BIPOC authors in the mix. No, y'all just yap, complain, and don't uplift nobody in the process. All that yapping that y'all do, talking about these other white authors about their mediocre books, is the same amount of energy we should be putting into young black authors instead of sitting here and complaining about how fast we trying to move. Because my question always is, okay, if I'm moving too fast, what the hell am I waiting for? For you to say yes, for you to be my yes man. Are you waiting for us to come kiss your feet? Like, no, I'm going to put in work now because I can and I want to. Riri Williams. You did that? Ironheart? Yeah, I love Ironheart. And that's why I love Ironheart, because she's young, gifted, and black. And everybody keeps telling her what she can and can't do. And she's like, yes, I can. I can and I will. And that's the attitude I have. I'm sorry. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you think I sound arrogant. I really don't. Because I'm so tired of people sitting here acting like I'm supposed to just sit here and in everybody's face. And I'm like, no, y'all are talking crazy. Can we talk about it? And y'all need to be checked on it. If you ain't going to help the young authors get up, shut up! And as I continue talking about this, you want to know what me personally, if I was an elder author, and this is one of the things I would like to do when I am in my elder years of authoring, when I'm a seasoned author, instead of getting on the internet complaining about young authors and how they're always rushing, instead, I would like to start a 4-year program that works like university almost, where we hone in on their writing skills, we strengthen their writing skills, blase, for whatever like genre they want to do. And then at the end of the 4 years, they get a publishing deal. Is it a profitable plan? Probably not, because every 4 years publishing a book in a company, that is crazy. That's not something that's profitable. But you want to know something? I'm not doing this for capitalism. I'm doing this because I care about my people. Something that a lot of y'all don't understand. That's neither here nor there. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm heated. I'm angry. I'm clocking tea. I don't care. I'm over it. As my grandfather used to say, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Anyways, but yeah. So, but I talked about this in my previous YouTube video. The cover I got done. Michael LeBourne reached out and was like, okay, well, you're not quitting on authoring, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a plan, and I'm gonna contact my community, and we're gonna raise money to make this cover happen. Period. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all don't do that. No, y'all just sit here and complain, and don't do nothing. Um, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, period. As we should. And I want to be able to pass that on to the next person. Like, somebody was able to help me out. One day I want to be able to help somebody out too. And matter of fact, I can't say that I don't do that already, because y'all know I be posting about other people's Kickstarters. I be reposting other authors' videos. Anytime I get a chance to mention some of my favorite authors that are indie published, Black indie published, or even BIPOC indie published, I mention them. I've even mentioned y'all when I'm not even on the internet. Behind closed doors, I'm mentioning y'all. So I'm always like that, period. I might not have the money to always give, but I always got the time to give. Clock it. Y'all gotta get like me, period. Let me stop. But yeah. Y'all are actually harming the Black community, because one day you will die. Your generation will die off. And all the people that you didn't want to give a leg up to actually be something and become excellent within their mediocrity, all the people you didn't meet up with to make their mediocrity something special and give them a ladder to actually get up instead of kicking dirt in their face. Yeah, when you're dead, we gonna have to be here. So I suggest investing in the younger generation instead of sitting there complaining about them all the time. Thank you. Which is actually part of the reason why, for those who don't know, I do work in the education field. And that's part of the reason why I don't mind staying in the education field, because I feel like somebody gotta care about the kids. Everybody always complaining about the kids, but nobody want to help them. And the same thing with these elder folks talking to younger authors. Oh, well, you guys are just rushing. Well, you guys are just doing this. Well, you guys are just doing that. So can you help give me a ladder and help me get up? Like, damn. Anyways, now I'm going to be addressing everybody else. I know I spent a lot of the segment like ranting kind of and just like talking to the Black community. But you see, the Black community, we like family. So I could talk to them. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why that's the larger chunk in this video. But that's besides the point. So yeah, addressing everybody else. Lack of empathy in how it affects the wider world. Asking yourself questions about how you perceive people outside of your own community. Reading Legendborn is not enough. Now, I know that I'm just naming authors here. I love Legendborn as well. I don't know if y'all can see because the glare from these lights is like hot. Let me turn this down a little bit. But yeah, I got the series right up here. I pre-ordered both Bloodmarked and Oathbound. So don't get crazy in my comments, because I do in fact love Legendborn. So don't be talking like I don't love Legendborn. I do. However, some of y'all will sit here, read Legendborn, and think that you checked off the diversity list. That's not how this works, baby. There's more than just Legendborn for Black fantasy authors. You need to get into it. And y'all only be reading Legendborn because it's trendy. So let's start there. And then be giving it low ratings because you can't understand Black culture. Like, girl, hush. Which actually, separate YouTube video I gotta make. We gotta bring back nonfiction books, where I'll make a YouTube short about it or something, because it's like y'all or something else. But yeah, how does this lack of empathy affect the wider world? Listen, if you can't empathize with characters in a flipping book, where they're telling you how they're feeling and they're showing you their experience, and the book is literally forcing you to walk within the character's shoes, I don't know how you expect to practice empathy in real life if you can't do it with a damn book where they're telling you bar for bar what's happening with the characters. I've made a video like this about this before on TikTok. I've also made a blog post about this before on TikTok. If you can't empathize with characters of color and authors of color in the fictional space, that means when you get out into the real world, you're doing the same shiesty BS. If you can't do that with a fictional book, you're not doing it in real life. And that's why we end up in situations like the one we're in today, where people are, y'all know the current state of our world is crazy, right? All you gotta do is open your computer, open TikTok, open one of them news sites, and you'll see all the craziness. But that's why we get into this craziness. And the crazy part is y'all always, T. Let me tell you something. White people be thinking that they're exempt from certain stuff, and I'm like, no, baby. Unless you're part of 1%, unless you're a billionaire, you're not exempt. It will eventually bite you in your you know what. Okay, but because it's not biting y'all now, y'all think y'all safe. No, you're not, because guess what? When we all gone, you're next. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's in your best interest to care about your neighbor, and that shouldn't be the reason you care either, because that's fake empathy. I need real empathy from y'all. It's a human trait to have empathy, and if you can't do that with a book, then there's no hope for you in real life, and you need to be ignored and stepped to the side, and you need to lose your legacy. You don't need one. You don't need a legacy of hatred. Thank you very much. Whether it's indirect or direct. Next part. Number 2, book recommendations to help you understand the Black community and specifically Black women. I forgot I put this here. So, okay, here's some of the nonfiction books I read recently. So first I read Hood Feminism. However, I feel like I should have read Ain't I a Woman before I read Hood Feminism, because I feel like Ain't I a Woman is like a prerequisite to Hood Feminism. So so the reason why I say that you should read Ain't I a Woman first, because I feel like Ain't I a Woman walks you through Black American history and the build up to how all this happened and where it came from, and the social structures that were built throughout American history that created these issues. So that's why I feel like Ain't I a Woman is a good place to start, because it walks you through the whole thing. Is it a pretty dense read? Yeah, there's some dense verbiage in there, like, you know, there's some college level thinking or whatever. But for the most part, I don't think it's nothing crazy. If you listen to it on audiobook, you understand what Shorty is saying. But I also think that you have to be ready to listen to this stuff, because I feel like some people will sit there and listen to that and not get a single thing because their character is not in the right place to receive the information that they're listening to. So don't just listen to it to just check it off your list. Listen to it with the intentions of becoming a better person. Yeah. And then I say you should read Hood Feminism, because it takes that historical context that Bell Hooks spends a lot of time on and puts it in a more modern context. Now, I can't remember when Ain't I a Woman was published. I'm not sure. But I do know that there was a lot of history in that book, even though it did connect to a lot of present stuff in that book. But that book has a lot of history in it as well. But I feel like Hood Feminism puts a more modern spin on that stuff in the context of the Black woman's experience in America, or I should say the Black American woman's experience. Next thing is, I'm currently listening to the 1619 Project, and y'all, that book got me burning up. Like, that book got me wanting to like I'm telling you. But no, it's a good read though, and I feel like everybody should read that. I feel like everybody should read all of these books. But the first 2 books I mentioned were definitely geared towards the Black American woman's experience. But the 1619 Project, nah, that's Black American history and how Black Americans made this happen. Y'all wouldn't have Jack Dilly squat without us. Y'all wouldn't have nothing. Y'all would have nothing. Y'all would have nothing without Black Americans. And I feel like the 1619 Project, I'm 33% into that book, and so far I'm like, wow, we really should be getting the illest thank yous, because my goodness, y'all wouldn't have nothing without us. And to this day, we are welcoming. We are not looking to hurt nobody. We just trying to exist despite all that. So yeah, I think everybody should listen to the 1619 Project, because it'll give you a lot of history, not even just like in the context of Black American history, but just American history, and how Black history is American history. Like, this is, like when Beyonce said, "This is my bow down." Like, she meant that. She meant that. She did. But yeah, that's 3 book recommendations that you should read. If you plan on reading some Black fantasy books, pause. Don't pick it up, because every time y'all do that, be like, "Oh, I'm gonna diversify my bookshelf." Then you go ahead and you pick up Black books, and then you give us jacked up ratings because you have a messed up mentality. Do not touch my books. Do not touch other Black fantasy authors' books, or even Black romance books, if you don't know our history and you don't respect us as a culture and as a people and as full human complex beings. If you can't wrap your head around that, don't touch my books. Don't touch our books. Don't, because then y'all get in the reviews and y'all mess us all the way up because y'all don't understand the context. And I say this even to non-femme Black people as well. Same thing with Black women. Don't pick up Black women's books if you got an issue with Black women. Don't, because y'all be jacking up our reviews too because of your messed up mentalities. Go get yourself correct, get some empathy, get it together, educate yourself, and then come back and read the books. But don't be picking up my stuff, jacking up my reviews because you can't use your head. Okay, start with the nonfiction. We need to bring back nonfiction. Ain't nothing wrong with reading nonfiction, and it's not that boring. You can listen to a nonfiction audiobook while cleaning your house. It will not kill you. Clock it. But anyway, that is all for this YouTube video. I hope y'all got something out of it. Bye, y'all. Happy spooky season. Also, y'all, don't forget to read my spooky season story, Avarice. It's free. So y'all should go read that after this YouTube video because I'm almost done with it. And it's really good. It's an anti-capitalist allegory. Yeah, dark fantasy. But anyway, yeah, let me end this. Sorry. Bye.